could just be a testament of if you do all the right things leading up to it. This is what it could look like. I use place because it keeps him from running away without having to like physically fight him on it. So if he gets down off of the place, I'll just correct him for it just the same as we would any other time. We're gonna see how he feels about me holding his little toe beans. Good job, bud. He's looking at Paige like, who are you? Did I invite you? You allowed to be here? Good job. Don't really care what he does when we're trimming nails, as long as he stays on the place and he is relatively tolerant and polite. Good job. See how he feels about the sound of this. Any idea? A lot of times we'll just put the back of it where it vibrates on there, just to see what he thinks. Good job. I try not to let go of his foot until he stops fussing and kind of fighting me on it. Oh boy. Good job, Rocky. That's a nice job. You can lay down, that's fine too. Good job. If you lay down, then I can try one of your back feet. Good job. Ideally starting with the back feet, because usually dogs care about their back feet a little less than their front feet. I didn't start there because the way he was standing, he like very much needed his back feet for support, but if he lays down like this. Good job, buddy. Good job. And he's not willing to take food, so that's why we're not using food. Otherwise, you can do trading, trimming a little bit, food, trimming a little bit, food, things like that. Good job. Good boy. If your dog won't take positive reinforcement when you're doing nail trims, you can rely on the negative reinforcement to reward, where they allow you to do a little bit and then the removal of that and giving them a break is reinforcement enough for them to continue to allow the process. Once they get more comfortable, then you can reintroduce positive reinforcement then. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Wow. Good job. And if I'm able to do kind of like a less is more technique where I'm not having to like really grab him and move him around and stuff, then I won't. You know, if his paw is hanging out here and I can access it just fine, I'll just usually like stabilize the nail and do it that way. Where you going? You got it, buddy. Good boy. Good job. It's a really good job. And his nails could certainly probably go shorter than what I did them, but I kind of purposefully leave them a little bit longer when you start the conditioning process, because that gives you more chances to keep practicing if you just take down little by little each time you do it. I find that if the dogs can initially get over like the vibration and the sound of it, they tend to be far less freaked out by these than the trimmers. And I think it's because like with the clippers, it's like, one, you're just kind of guessing. So the likelihood that a dog is gonna get cut once at least from clippers is a lot higher and they're gonna bleed. And that doesn't feel great. And then the other aspect I think is like, you notice how if he does panic and pull his paw away, he doesn't feel stuck because he can freely pull his paw away. But if you have the clipper wrapped around the nail and they pull, it like pulls their nail, which I think freaks them out even more. And so, especially if you're conditioning to like nail trimming and stuff, I think a Dremel is always the best place to start. And then if people want to go to like a clipper or something, I think it's easier then to do that afterwards. But what do you think? You want to come up here? Good boy. That was really nice. That was a good try. Come here. Good boy. That was really nice. Here I go. Come in. Come on. Can you make it? Come here. Rocky. Hey. Come here. Come on. Oh, what a good guy. Thank you. That's really nice. I think you'll like it better without the ramp. Come on in. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a really good boy. That's a really good boy. Are we both gonna hold in here? We're gonna find out. Come on. Can you make it? I know you got it. There's no need to panic. Take your time. Come here. Come on. Whoa, that was so good, buddy. That was so nice. Okay. Okay, you can get down now. Go on. Okay. Oh, good job. Let's see if you can do it without me now. Come here, Rocky. Come on. Ooh, he feels so cool. Good job, bud. That was so nice. That was really, really nice. Okay. Good boy. What's this? A lot of times I'll do like the noise next to the dog so that they can get a sound. Because sometimes it's the sound as well that kind of freaks them out. And then I'll start like at their feet away from their face. Good boy. And it's on like the lowest velocity right now. Oh, is that kind of nice? You are doing so good, my guy. So good. So good. Oh, that's kind of nice, huh? Go a little bit stronger. You're doing so good. I'm really proud of you, bud. I don't think you care. That's a good boy. That's a good job, buddy. That was amazing. That was so brave.
You're working hard. I'm really proud of you. Did you really? Wow, look at you.
And so like as the dog came up, you're obviously like making sure that everything's going to be all right, not escalating and stuff. But were you, you know, once the dog was kind of under control, did you give her any commands, or?
Just to come to me. So
Okay.
basically just to give her like some space and stuff and like.
And she responded pretty well?
Oh yeah, she did. Like
okay.
there was no issue. It was just more like the extent of like the reaction.
The initial explosion.
Yeah, it was just kind of took me by surprise. And it's like in those situations, like I try my best to like not be a complete like masshole and just like flip out on this guy.
Right. Because it's easy to do so.
It is.
Yes.
And it's just like I don't want to make her even more like anxious, or it's not her fault. It's,
absolutely.
You know, it's like just like the series of events, and I'm just like, there was no like words out of either one of these gentlemen's mouth. Like they just saw us and like came to like, like towards us. So but the second instance, because this was at the same park, like I just said, can you call your dog back? Like we're training and she can be fearful.
Yeah.
And at that point, the dog was literally like sniffing Daria, and I'm just. Okay, so I remained calm, like she was still on her leash, of course.
Right.
And I just stood there. So it was more just like managing it.
Yep.
But so she didn't have like a reaction to that dog, but
cool. And yeah, I think it definitely does have a lot to, you know, to do with like how you can kind of control the situations as much as you can, you know, with yourself keeping calm, with knowing that you do have control of her. I mean, the fact that she exploded, I mean, it could have been that she was startled. It could have been that, you know, could have been a whole lot of reasons, you know? Yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily anything like that you're doing wrong in your routines. It sounds like everything you have been doing is great and it's working. And that's really the important thing, is that when situations like that happen, you're able to, one, correct for it if it is that explosion, you know, and two, be able to like get her attention back on you, or back at least in the command, right? A mindset of like working instead of reacting. So the fact that she's able to kind of like turn that switch off so quick, as opposed to, you know, kind of before where she was just kind of like wanted to keep exploding, that's an amazing sign. So that's super important. So it's something that, you know, it's situations like that where that's why we practice this. That's why we, you know, you go to the park and you're doing these practices and stuff like that to work in those situations. So, you know, I mean, I think, and then the second one with her, like not even reacting and you being able to stay calm, you know, it's something that you're taking control of the situation, and she's just kind of there and like no longer feeling the need that she has to take control, right? She now has that confidence, like, yep, mom's got it, you know? Like, if mom starts freaking out, then maybe, like, I'll start freaking out. But if mom's calm, then, you know, I know to listen to her, you know? So that's really awesome. I mean, again, not ideal, but, I mean, the way that she's reacting, at least, is actually really good, you know? So, again, it's the fact of, I think we've kind of talked about this in the past, you know, eliminating that anxiety completely, you know, is pretty hard to say we could do, but it's something that managing it and being able to control it and like, and snap out of it as fast as she is now is awesome, you know? So, I mean, we've clearly made huge hurdles in that sense. And obvious, and even like your confidence with stuff, with being able to go to the park, even just go to the park and work her on the long line and do all that stuff, is a huge plus to you, you know, of the hurdles that you've been able to do. And then as well as like handling those situations, you know, it's not easy to be very tense in those situations, because you know what your dog is capable of, and still remaining calm like you did. So, you know, even just being able to control that situation how you did is you know, something huge for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just like you know, and this is just me, like, as a person, I'm just, like, very hard on myself, and I think I still, like, you know, deep down, like, she is my baby, like, I
Yeah.
try not to be, like, baby her, but at the same time, like, I think I still just have, like, just, like, empathy for her, because
Yep.
she just wasn't properly socialized, and
Yep.
it's, like, you
And
know,
it's
we're
affected
just,
her
like,
all the way into adulthood, you know?
right,
Yeah.
and I think it will be a challenge, like, you know, for the rest of her life, as much as I, like, don't like to think about that, but
Right.
I mean, it's just like, you know, we will always, you know, improve and keep working on improving. And
Yep.
we've done like a handful of just different like training field trips. Recently, we've done like Home Depot a couple of times. And she's done really well. Of course, again, like, I think more people like with her, like, you know, she does look intimidating. So I think like more times than not, like, people tend to give us our space
Yeah.
without me saying anything.
Yep. Especially if she's got the muzzle on and stuff. I don't know if you're still using that or not, but yeah.
You know what? I think that's another thing I can do more, is kind of like working on desensitizing her, because really the only time I do put it on like actively is when we go to the bed.
Yeah.
So I think, and she doesn't love it. So like, again, that's I think something we can definitely like work on, just because you know, it's been like positive with me using it and like working with her using it, but again, she still doesn't like, you know, she kind of
Still trying to knock it off. Yeah.
Yep, and so we'll work on that. But
yeah, I think that'd be a good kind of a new goal, you know, to kind of want to kind of work at too, you know. So, because clearly you now know what you need to work on in terms of her reactivity outside. You know, like again, you doing these field trips, you taking her to the park and practicing, are all going to help with that. And again, it's something kind of like we were saying with, you know, if it is a lifelong thing of her just constantly, you know, trying to work at it, you know, a goal to set for yourself, if you're too hard on yourself, is just like seeing the improvement and seeing the reactivity span more and more each time, you know, when she does have these explosions, right? You know, as before, you know, it was every single time you're going out or every single time a stranger came over or whatever, right? We're having these explosions. Now it's something where it's just like, you are purposely taking her to places where you probably weren't even able to take her before, and she's succeeding, right? So when she does have these situations, it's okay, let's use an example to work through it, and then let's try to make that span even longer next time, you know?
Right.
And, you know, but I think that mindset is a good kind of way to go at it. And yeah, muzzle training, definitely good. You know, just in terms, even if she's good, like once it's on and stuff, having her just being more comfortable in it's never gonna hurt, you know? So.
So we are now day 4. We've done initial get them used to the facility, make sure that they at least walk when they're scared, right? We did day 2, which was make sure we can then translate that to going out in public, something they were previously never able to do. We did day 3, which we were going to do pinch collar introduction work, but we didn't. Work done getting him used to being collared. He really wasn't a fan of that. You'll see in the last episode. And then we did a bunch of confidence building drills, things like that. And day 4 today is going to be officially starting the pinch collar training. So this, you know, this could go really well. It could go, you know, not as well as we want it to go. We'll see. This might be another big hurdle for him to get past. New sensation on his neck. Obviously a little bit more aversive of a sensation to get him a little more motivated to start working through this. And I want to get him understanding not just moving with the leash, not just following me on the walk, all that kind of stuff, but starting to shape some of the obedience commands. So the very first thing that we need to do here is we need to make sure he understands moving with the leash with a new sensation, right? So I'm going to be super, super gentle about this. I'm going to grab this leash here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just kind of gradually moving around. And then with really, really minimal pressure, if he gets outside of the bubble or feels that pressure, I'm going to hold it steady in whatever direction it is I want him to move, and then relieve it when he moves with me, just like that. Now, since we've done a lot of work with the standard leash with this, assuming he doesn't have any sort of big adverse reaction to the new sensation initially, because sometimes just it changing, even if it's not ridiculously aversive, just the fact that it's changing can really throw dogs off. But this should be relatively smooth, if not. So moving around, very good. Just getting him used to feeling that pressure, moving towards me with it. And gradually making our way around the room. Very good. Good job, buddy. And you see, obviously, like, we got him out of the crate. Really starting to create a good relationship here between us. Helping him overcome hurdles. He's starting to trust me more through this. And that's why these things like this or the stuff we worked on yesterday, wasn't anywhere near as bad as it would have been if we tried to do it day 1 or day 2 before we did all that groundwork that you saw. So I still am not going to be super, super nitpicky about shaping like a formal heel position. I just want to make sure he's staying in the bubble with me. So if he darts ahead, I'm just changing direction, making sure when he feels that leash pressure that he moves with me. And currently still not really taking food. He's starting to get a little bit more interested in his meals, so that food drive will come quickly. We are making some adjustments to the feeding routines just to get him into a little bit more balanced of a diet so that we can start to leverage that in our training sessions. That's really going to help him. But right now, we're still not quite in a position where it's going to benefit us, but that will start picking up very soon. Nice. This is what I want to see, just that he follows me around on the leash. He's getting used to this sensation. We'll do another minute or so of this, and then what we're going to do, very good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in some commands. We'll start working some formal bed stays. We'll start working some sit commands and see how he does with that. All right, so introduction to the prong, no major issue, obviously. He's doing fine with it. So we're going to add in the bed stay next. This is going to be a pressure on, pressure off concept. So we're using negative reinforcement right now. Again, getting sciencey with people, that is we're applying pressure and we're teaching them how to escape the pressure. So we're teaching them that, pressure in this direction turns off when you complete this task, et cetera, to reinforce or increase the probability that he's going to want to do that in the future. So with the bed stay, say I walk up to it and I want him to get onto this bed, what I would do is I would apply a little bit of pressure towards it. And then once all 4 paws are on it, I release that pressure. And these are beds he's never worked on before. You saw how terrified he was of the ones across the way last time, so obviously he's going to be a little nervous of them initially. Okay. And then I'm going to start introducing our release command here as well. So I'm going to use that pressure to get him on, release the pressure when he's in position, make sure he's chilling there for a minute. Okay. And then let him know okay, then terminates whatever it is we're working on. Beautiful. Oh, thinking about it. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Doing great. Okay. Again, like we talked about yesterday, tail's starting to come up as he's understanding, being more clear and more confident in the expectation. Again, we haven't really worked him up here yet. It's a new room, so on top of introducing something new, we're in a new area right now. Okay. Good job, buddy. All right, so we have leash pressure understanding, check. Bed stay understanding, check. So now we're going to move on to our sit command, and we'll see what we get with that. So this one might be a little bit more challenging for him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure up on the leash here. And what I want to see is that as I apply this pressure, that his butt starts to go down a little bit. I can give a little bit of help, Beautiful. As soon as he sits, that pressure turns off. And I'll just let him stabilize there for a second. Good job, dude. Okay. Do that a couple times. Same deal, a little bit of pressure up. A little bit of help if I need to. And release of pressure once his butt's down. And let him stabilize for a minute. Good job, dude. Okay. Good. Okay. For dogs like them, this can be a very challenging one because anytime we're asking them to like stabilize into a stationary command, whether that's a sit, whether that's a down, a lot of times that could be viewed by the dog as a very good job, buddy. Very vulnerable position to be in. So the standing and freezing puts them in a position where like an escape route is faster. They can spring into action quicker. So they're not going to want to stabilize when they feel pressure before they start to understand it. Okay, so we're just kind of deconditioning that response a little bit here. Working repetitions. And we should see in a couple reps here, he gets faster and faster getting into it. Again, a little bit of pressure, a little help. Releasing pressure once he gets in. Okay. You're close, bud. Close. Nice. As we move forward over these next couple of reps, I am going to hold him to a little higher of a standard. I'm not going to give as much help physically maneuvering him into that sit position. Okay, because the goal here is he needs to understand the pressure, right? This leash communication is going to be the building block of everything that we teach. So just waiting him out a couple seconds longer, letting him work through it here. Perfect. And then the second he sits, releasing that pressure. Okay. Much better. Okay. So the first thing that I want to start to see here is that he starts getting into position faster and faster, requiring less pressure. Good. So those last couple were a little bit quicker than the few before. Okay. From there, once he gets a little smoother with it, the next goal that we'll be looking to see, like right there, very, very minimal pressure in comparison to the last few. Then after that, okay, just like with all the confidence building stuff we did yesterday, I want to see him then confident in his choice of what to do. Right now he's still figuring it out. Obviously, inevitably, as you're figuring things out, that'll create a degree of stress. So as he becomes more confident in his choice and his ability to escape the pressure, that will continue to improve his overall confidence of the training exercises. Okay? But the one thing I'm very, very pleased with that I'm seeing is his willingness to like work through this stuff organically on his own. Okay? He's not giving me anywhere near as much resistance as I feel like I expected he was going to initially, especially given where he started. Same deal, little pressure, just a fingertip amount. Beautiful. You see he's starting to more clearly understand the expectation. Okay. And as I do this, you'll notice every time I've done it so far, I start really, really, really light, fingertip amount of pressure. Give him a chance to do it. Gradually increase from there as I need to until I find the perfect amount of pressure that motivates him enough to try to work through the solution. Okay. Same deal, gradual pressure to start. Beautiful. Okay. Gradual pressure. Very good. Much, much better. Okay. Do a close one, you'll see, right? Just literally just touching that leash. Good job, bud. Good job. Okay, come on. Do one more. Nice. Good job. You see the tail wag starting to come back. Tail's coming back up as we're creating clarity in the expectation. Okay. And every day we're looking for these micro hurdles to get them past, because each time we work through one, we're getting a more and more and more confident dog on the other side. Good job. Good job. Okay. Very good. So we've established our leash walking. We know he understands pressure directionally like that. He knows how to move with the leash. Obviously, we've just established the pressure up, meaning get into the sit position. Additionally, we've also confirmed that we could use that pressure to get him to stabilize onto a bed, just like that. Okay. And obviously, we've generalized it to another bed. Beautiful. Okay. So that's the start of our leash pressure training. So we're going to give him a quick break here, and then we'll keep building on this.